As a parent, do you find it challenging to find budget-friendly toys and activities that you can do with your children at home? Pop your answer in the comments. When our boys were younger, we used to find it very challenging to find toys that were affordable and budget-friendly, as well as toys that would develop their necessary skills looking to the future and heading into school. So I started looking at different activities that I could do at home with the boys that would be more budget friendly and would target various developmental areas that they were needing to get through at that stage. Today I have an activity for you that's going to help develop your children's hand-eye coordination. It's going to help develop your children's visual skills, and it's going to help develop your children's memory and recognition skills as well. Ball patterns are really simple, and they're a really great budget-friendly activity. They require plastic balls, pattern cards, and a muffin tray. And that's all you need to be able to do this activity. This activity works lots of different skills. It works on our grasping skill as we pick up the balls. It works on our processing skills as we look at the pattern cards and try and reinterpret it here. We also work on things like recognition and stuff like that when we're trying to sort out the various patterns that we might be doing. So I've got 2 pattern cards here that we're going to do today. So the first pattern card is a relatively simple card. So this is great for your preschoolers or even your toddlers to follow the pattern card. So you lay the pattern card out on the table for your toddlers and preschoolers, and you get them to copy the pattern in the muffin tray. So really, really simple and not too challenging to do. If you wanted to make it a little bit more challenging, you could turn your pattern card around and have it that way and have the muffin tray this way so that it doesn't quite match up, and the child has to then process how to interpret the pattern card into the muffin tray. So that could be good for your new entrant level, year 1 or 2 level at school. If you're doing it for older children, you might want a more challenging pattern card. And so having a card that looks sort of like that they need to then sit there and try and replicate on the muffin tray can be really, really good for them. So enabling them to work on their processing skills, their motor skills, and develop some thinking skills on where are these balls going? How does that pattern look? Does this match up? Is really good for developing lots of skills necessary for literacy, for learning, and general development in our children. This activity targets visual development, it targets hand-eye coordination, and it targets fine motor coordination. So today we're going to learn about pom-pom tracing. Really simple, really easy, budget-friendly activity. So this is an activity more aimed at preschoolers and early years at school. Toddlers will have a bit of fun doing it and it will develop their skills, but bear in mind that if you're doing this with a toddler, depending on their skill levels, they probably won't be able to follow the lines as accurately as a preschooler or a school-age child. So what we do with this activity is we take our magnifying glass and we place it over the pom-pom. The idea is to try and pull the pom-pom and trace it along the line on the board as much as possible. This is also a really good way to do pre-writing practice. It's a fun, challenging activity and it doesn't involve actually writing, but it uses all the skills and it works all the muscles and the coordination and development that you need to work for your writing. So this is a really, really great pre-writing activity. It is a great hand-eye coordination activity. Again, it is also a really good fine motor skill activity. And you don't even need to buy a magnifying glass to do it. You can literally cut one up out of cardboard and draw the shape on a piece of cardboard. The key thing is to make sure that you've got a gap in the middle here so that you can actually get your pom-poms inside. So one of the activities I'm going to share with you today is a pom-pom whisk activity. All you'll need for this activity is a jar of pom-poms and a kitchen whisk. So what you're going to do is, if you're setting this up for your infant or your toddler, then as the parent, you're going to need to take the whisk and stuff the pom-poms into the whisk. If you're setting this up for your preschooler or an early school age child, then they can probably stuff the whisk with the pom-poms. You want to get them to use their pincer grip. That's where we use the thumb and the forefinger, and we're only using those to pick things up and put them in. This pincer grip is what works the muscles and ligaments in the hand and develops the fine motor skills necessary for being able to write. Once your whisk is stuffed as full as you can get it with pom-poms, you then use that same pincer grip again, and you start to slowly try and grip them and pull them out of the whisk. If you're doing this activity with a preschooler or a child who's in their first few years at school, you can actually get them to grab the pom-poms out and then colour sort them. So placing any pom-poms they pull out into the same colour group. Another way you can do this with those age children is to get them to sort the pom-poms into size groups. So you may have a slightly bigger pom-pom than others, get them to sort them into big and small, things like that. So this is a really, really good fine motor activity that will help to develop those skills necessary for writing. This activity is targeted mainly at toddlers and preschool level, but depending on developmental stages and developmental levels, it can be used for other age limits as well. So today we're going to use a few simple things. You can use anything you have at home. Basically, you need anything that you can draw a shape around. So today I'm using my wooden blocks that are all different shapes and sizes. Pretty simple, pretty budget friendly. Let's get into it. So this giant shape match, it's going to work visual skills and develop visual functions. It's going to work your recognition in terms of knowing that this shape is the same as this, got the same concept as this shape or this shape, but it's not the same as that, and so it's not likely to fit there. It's also going to develop hand-eye coordination, because you're going to have to look at the shapes on the board, go, I'm looking for this shape, and then your brain's got to now process, what does that shape look like? How do I know that that's that shape? And then what do I need to do to get that shape? So it's going to be a very, very complex process going on for them, but it's going to develop so many different skills for your children just by doing a shape sort. You can do shape sorts in lots of different ways. It doesn't have to be like this, but this just adds a fun dynamic. You can get, if you don't have these kind of resources, you can do shape sorting in other ways, in terms of going to your pantry, grab out tins, grab out containers, plastic cups, anything like that can help sort shapes, recognition, things like that. To make it a little bit more challenging for older kids, you can use slightly more complex shapes. So instead of using shapes that just have smooth edges like this, you might use a shape that's a bit unusual. and that will be a bit more challenging for them. One budget-friendly activity I have for you is called the ball wall. The ball wall is great for working motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and movement skills. So your board looks like this. And what you can do is for your infant and toddler age children, depending on the developmental progress of your toddler and your toddler's capabilities, you can set the board up like this. All they need to do then is slowly, in any order they like, pull the balls off of the wall. If you're doing this activity for your preschooler or school-age child, you can get them to place the balls on the tape. And then you can get them to take the balls off. And there are many different ways in which they can do this. Either they can just take all the balls off in no particular order, or you can get them to take them off in colors. So taking off only the pink balls, only the blue balls. You can also get them to take them off and count. How many green balls do we have? 1, 2. So there are lots of different ways to use this to develop motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and some of the skills that your preschooler and early school child will need for their learning. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.